Kamryn, welcome to the show. It's really cool to have you here. Tell me, how are you today?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing good as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for asking. And again, welcome to the show. And let's get the show started. So, let's go back in time a little bit here and tell me how your acting career started.
So in 2008, when I was 5 or 6 years old,
Okay.
I told my parents that I really wanted to get into acting. So they went and they're like, yeah, every kid wants to get into acting. So they put me into a cheap acting class. From there, I was picked out of the crowd. An agency contacted my parents, was like, hey, we think she could go somewhere. In 2010, I did my first movie, as well as some background work. The first movie I was ever in was Arithmetic, Annie's Life in Numbers. It was a short film with no lines, but it was probably the best thing I could have done for my career because it's the first time I got to be on set and make some of those connections that I still have today.
I love it. And was it something else you wanted to do back when you were little? Or was it always towards arts?
It was mostly to work in arts. I've always had a lot of interests as well, which I actually have been able to move into my art. So I love horses, I love cars, and I do a lot of stunts on set thanks to those interests.
Wow. Okay. And digging like a little bit deep here in your acting career, tell me like how you prepare a character. Now I understand that it depends on the role, right? But what are usually the first steps, or usually the first, let's say like the first steps you you always take in order to start this process?
So whether it's a role I've already gotten or an audition or even something that I've pushed for myself, the first thing I always do is I look at the breakdown of the character that I'm looking to play, as well as the characters that they interact with. Most casting agencies will provide a breakdown list. From there, I read through my character first, the main 2 or 3 characters that they interact with, and from there I start to create, okay, who is this person? What type of tones do they use? How do they speak with people? What is their perception in the world? Then from there, I usually don't do a whole lot more until I either get a table reading for a full role or until I'm standing in front of the camera for the audition. It really depends on the character itself, how complex they are, if they're a lead, if they're supporting, or if they're just a one scene person. It's just kind of trying to figure out where the separation between who I am and who they are. And that's probably the hardest part of it, is being able to portray being somebody else while still being the independent person that I am on set.
There you go. Okay. And what has been either the funniest or worst audition you ever had?
That's a good question. Yes, a lot of the auditions, that's probably where it probably comes from, is the auditions. You get some really weird ones sometimes. I think the hardest or funniest one was I was auditioning for a person that was getting killed in a scene. And the only thing that the casting wanted from us was to scream on camera.
Okay.
So I'm standing there in front of the camera. I do my little intro, who I am, who I'm represented by, and then just scream.
Okay.
You look at the camera and you're like, oh, thank you. That's probably the funniest one that I've done. It just felt so weird to just
scream out of nowhere, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
I can understand that. Yeah, it must have been pretty strange. Yeah. Okay. Now, let's say that one day I call you and I tell you that I want to become an actor. Now, I have like zero experience. So, based on what you know, what advice could you give to me or even to someone who doesn't know anything about acting at all but wants to start this journey?
Definitely the first thing is know your geography.
Okay.
First thing, who are the main production agencies? Who are the main representations for agents? do your research. See if you can contact anybody in your area that's already in. If you can't find anybody that's already in the industry, the best thing to do is to call an agency and just be like, look, I'd like to start. I'm not sure where. Can you either help me or point me in the direction? From there, I guess it's just kind of getting your first time on set. That is, to me, the most important part of somebody getting into this industry. It doesn't matter if you stay an actor or if you want to get into something else. The first thing is get on set, make those connections, show them who you are as a person so that they remember you when it comes to casting.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take that into consideration. And once I get an Oscar for Best Actor, I'll sure to add you on my thank you speech.
Yeah.
All right.
Then the only other thing is when you're on set, don't forget that being an actor is probably the hardest part of being on set. Get yourself there. It doesn't matter if you're starting as a stand-in, if you're starting in wardrobe, or even if you're somebody doing a PA position in locations.
Yeah.
You're on set, you're making those connections, and people remember you. You're not just another face doing auditions. You're there, you're showing determination that you want to be part of this. And that's something that they definitely look for. And I've gone on to different movie sets, made connections as a stand-in, and from there I've gotten roles from it.
Okay. All right. Now, let's say that one day Netflix, HBO Max, Disney Plus, you name it, they gather to tell you that they want to create this film in which basically all of the characters you have played at the moment will gather to celebrate your birthday. So tell me, what would be the name of that film?
That's a really hard one because I've played a lot of very diverse characters. Yeah, I don't know. That's a really hard one. Maybe something like Phantom of the Breeze. I've played a lot of ghosts, spirits, unborn souls. But I'm also a person as myself.
Yeah.
A lot of my characters are very different from each other. I've done romances, I've done westerns, I've done all these really diverse character roles. So it'd have to be a very abstract movie for them to all come together in.
And what genre would it be? Like horror, comedy, dark comedy, drama? What would it be?
Probably action, honestly. Something thriller, action, along those lines.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Now, what about if you had to describe again your career, but this time on a drink? Tell me, which drink would you pick? Now, you could either choose one that is, that is already known, or create or create your own. So what would it be?
That's another really hard one.
Take your time.
It would probably have to be like some type of like mixed drink, something fruity but with like a kick behind it. Picturing some type of fruit juice mixed with like a whiskey.
Okay. And what would it be called? So let's say that
probably like barnyard mix or something.
There you go. Fantastic. And like my last question here is like, what motivates you? We all have those days in which we basically just want to quit. We think that it's been a waste of time. Like getting inside into this toxic bubble, it's always super easy. So my question here is, what gets you out of it? So you can continue this journey that you have been creating for so many years now.
I just do what really makes me happy in the day. I found a lifestyle and a career for myself where I am able to express myself to my fullest. And I really enjoy that, as well as being face to face with new people, connecting, hearing their stories.
Yeah.
But also being able to shine a little bit for myself. I do enjoy, that little bit of spotlight. Definitely the best days are the days that I get to go to set and do stunts. those are the days I'm up before the alarm and I'm like, let's go. And
I love it.
I think it's just kind of working towards that big dream role character. I've always really wanted to play a villain, a very like deep, dark, mysterious villain who's like a badass.
Mm.
And I guess all these little roles and all the little progressions getting there is what gets me up in the morning.
Okay, I love it. And now that you mentioned your dream role, tell me what would be your dream role? Like a villain, but in what exactly? Like a, I don't know, like a superhero film or in another type of film. Like what would it be?
That I haven't quite figured out yet.
Okay.
I mean, growing up in all like the Marvel movies that I love so much, it was always the villains that stood out to me more than the superheroes
Okay.
because they're more complex. There's more questions to ask about them.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I've just kind of always wanted to be a villain that stood out, that people are like, yeah, that was a badass person. I wish I could even be that cool. And I guess, yeah, that's just the dream for me, is just to be able to play that one big bad character, that badass that stands out above everybody else.
Okay, I like it. All right, now what can I say? I mean, it's really cool what you do, and the fact that you do what makes you happy, that's impressive. I know it takes a lot of courage, especially because you want to create something out of nowhere, you know, that which is really, really hard. So the fact that you are building it and having results is really cool. And it's also the living proof that dreams can come true, and that's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely, this dream is one thing that you have to be very devoted to. You have to make sure that your lifestyle can fit it, because acting, it's not a full-time job.
Mm.
I mean, I still have to keep my full-time job, but it's something I enjoy. And, you know, taking 6 months off a year to do it is absolutely worth it to me.
Mm.
But I also take sympathy on people who just can't live this lifestyle. And I think that's the hardest part about getting into acting, is trying to figure out how to make that lifestyle fit in with the one that you're already living.
Totally, totally. Yeah, that's true. It's hard, but hey, you're making it happen, and as I said, that's the proof that it can be possible. So,
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it. I also want to thank those who watched this video. Thank you so much. If you're either watching this or listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast, I mean, the video is over. So go follow Kamryn like right now. I'm gonna leave on the description her Instagram link so you can follow her. I mean, let's make her viral. You know, hashtag Team Kamryn. She's amazing. And again, thank you so much for making this happen. Have an incredible rest of the week, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. All right, stay safe. Perfect.